Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hey, hello, my name is Meg and we do crafty things here. So if you like crafty things, please do consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing and tuning in to another video. I hope everyone is happy and healthy, both mentally and physically. I know for me, there's been times of just being a little bit down because I'm just stuck inside now. So if you're in the same predicament as I am and you're basically like at home 24/7, just make sure you're taking time to, relax or do something you want to do. Maybe go for a walk around the block or something just to get outside and lift your spirits a little bit. I decided that's what I needed. So I needed a spring themed alpha. And I found this cute little birdie. This cute little bluebird, and I was like, there is cold and inches of snow still on the ground here. So I really needed spring to help try and cheer me up. So I decided we were going to just speed knot because it was a little too big to do anything else with. If I did a tutorial on this, it would take forever. If I did, I don't know, anything else with it, it would be forever. And I really wanted to do another little wall hanging. Like I did with the Rolling Stones bracelet, except for this time, I just went straight old school. I didn't do the upside down technique. I didn't even do straight edge technique on this. I just went straight up old school alpha, which I actually really loved. I think this looks really cute, and it did do exactly what I wanted to do, which made me happy. So here we are. I don't have a lot to say about the pattern in particular because it is pretty simple. I did have to make a couple changes in just the colors that I had available to myself. So the actual pattern has really beautiful colors. And if you have the colors for it and you're wanting to do this pattern, I would suggest using them. They're a little more accurate. I think the colors I have are a little more like Blue Jays blue. The actual pattern has more like gray tone blues in it, 2 tones of brown, as well as like the yellow and the golden color that you guys are just starting to see here. However, this pattern has white in it, and the only white string I have at the moment is the craft cord. So I had to go with craft cord, and my craft cord, I didn't have multiple tones of brown, and the only blues I had were like bright blues. So I just rolled with what I had, and then I was even being a risky biscuit, guys, and I decided to whip out some of my gold Aunt Lydia's cord because it has like a strand of sparkle in it, and I'm not sure if you can really see it in the video here, if the camera picks it up very well, but it actually worked really well. It was pretty much the exact same thickness as this craft cord, so it didn't end up affecting my bracelet at all or like warping it or anything. So I was pretty happy with that because that was obviously a concern, and I would have already done a good number of rows by the time I got to that point. That didn't end up being an issue. So I was very happy with that. Now, this one is considerably bigger than the Rolling Stones one. I used the same like super long toothpicks that we had, but the Rolling Stones one is maybe like the size of half of the palm of my hand. And this one is more almost the full size of the palm of my hand with the little tapestry end on it. It is. So it's like a good size. It actually seems like it's supposed to be like hung on a wall or something. Whereas the little Rolling Stones one, I don't know, it feels like it's supposed to be like a rear view mirror decoration for your car or something. But it's cute anyways. And speaking of that video again, one of you guys asked me on it if I could do a tutorial on like the macrame tapestry style ending I did on it. So that's actually at the end of this. So if you're interested in how I did that, it really doesn't require a whole video of its own. So I did just throw it on the end of this, and I'll walk you through how I do it, obviously, when we get to the end of this. Yeah. So you just saw that. My toddler reached up and grabbed the handle of my coffee cup and spilt coffee all over it. Luckily, I was able to get everything out of the way except for a little bit of string, which is actually kind of funny and not funny. I'm a little bit like, but the only strings she got were the background colors, so the light purple and the base string. So I was like, okay, that's not a big deal. But I only had one skein of that light purple and I was almost done it. So I was forced to use it, only to, like, nearing this point in the bracelet, I think a couple rows after this, I realized, like, I don't have any more. So I did a last ditch effort and searched all my string bags again and found one more skein hiding under some yarn. And I was like, hallelujah, hallelujah. So I was actually able to finish it, and I could have cut out that coffee stained string and used some nice clean string. Unfortunately, I didn't think I had any more, so I was forced to use it. So there is a bit of a coffee stain beside our little birdie here, but what can you do? I'm going to try and wash it out and see if it comes out. Otherwise, I still think it looks really cute, and to be honest, unless you're really looking up close, it's not super noticeable. So yeah, I tried to soak as much of it out with like paper towel or whatever, but stuff happens. Okay, well, we're coming up close to the end of the actual pattern here. And I did have to fudge the branch a bit because I was really distracted when I was making this, just like really relaxed, not trying super, super hard. So I actually missed a couple lines of the top of the branch and just kind of shifted the pattern a little bit to compensate for that. But okay, here we go. So to do this, what I do is I break my string into equal sections. So for this particular pattern, it's going to be sections of 4. I'm going to use 2 strings as my base string and 2 strings with my knotting string. I'm going to make a sail shape like you would for a backwards knot, and then using my left string, I'm going to put it over top of that string and then up through the hole and pull it tight. And then I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to make a forwards shape like a 4, and then pull the other string over top of my loose end and up through the hole of the 4. I'm pretty sure this is called a square knot or a box knot in macrame. So if you need like an actual picture diagram or something, if that's easier for you to understand, that's what you should search. But basically, I just do that all the way across. Now, because of the amount of strings on this particular hanging, it's going to be 4 all the way across until my very last group. It's only going to have 3. Now, that's fine because I can still do this stitch with 3 because I just need 1 box string. But I'll show you this here at the end. I didn't want purple in my final project because to do this, we leave out strings, and I didn't want purple in the start of like the knots and then it to disappear. So I pushed my purple string into the center and then knotted the 2 white strings around it. And you can't really tell, so it's not really an issue, but I did have to do the same thing on the next row. And then the purple was out of the weaving for the next row after that, so I didn't have to worry about it again. But basically that's all you do. So you take the 4 strings in the middle of your last 2 knots. So you should have the 2 outer, how do I describe this? Sorry. So the 2 knots above, you should have one of the center base strings and the like rightmost knotting string and the leftmost knotting string of the one next to it and the base string there. So you're basically just staggering it, if that makes sense. So just make sure you're pulling 4 strings out, but they're like half and half the strings of the 2 knots above it. And then when you hit each edge, you just leave strings out. You don't introduce them back in. And the result is you get that like triangle shape, and then you can either tie tassels or just cut fringe. On this one I ended up just cutting fringe because this string is nice and thick and I thought it just looked better if I just cut it as fringe. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. But yeah, it's not anything super difficult, but it does end up looking pretty, so I thought I would just give you guys kind of a crash course on that. It's, like I said, it doesn't warrant its own video, so there you have it. Alright guys, this is the finished product. So you can see the finished little tapestry end there. And I did put a string on it so I can hang it, just like a loop, and wrapped it around the toothpick. I also used my nail clippers like you guys have seen in other videos. I have a pair of nail clippers that I don't really use because for whatever reason the blades on them are completely flat, and I like nail clippers that have a bit of a curve to them, but the flat makes them get really close to the back of the bracelet, and I don't have any like thread scissors, so they worked perfect. Anyways guys, that's enough blabbering from me. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and do consider subscribing. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.